All righty, we can go ahead and get started. 1 second. Okay, so it looks like I got two online, which is awesome. So basically, guys, the purpose of KWB orientation, I'm gonna see if this chair is gonna work for me today. Last time it did not. That's a little bit better. Okay, so the purpose of today is we are actually going to go over kwbresources.com. This is going to be our office resources page. So it's very important that obviously we understand everything that's available to us through this website and just get a feel for navigating it. So I want to make sure that we do a deep dive together so everyone is aware of what is available through this site. I think it'll help answer a lot of questions for some of our newer agents. In addition to that, what I would also say is at the very end, I usually end up going over just a few minutes. So if anyone can linger and stay on the call with me, what we're going to do is we're going to touch on one more website technically. And I'm basically just going to show you how to do an office email blast because I think that's super invaluable information. I want to make sure you guys have it early in your start time to KW. So please pay attention for that. If you guys have a chance to stick around, that would be amazing. I think it'll be helpful. I am going to go ahead and close out or jump back, I guess I should say, over to our other website because this will be our primary focus today. And of course, for both of you online, if you guys have any questions, I do have our overhead speakers on right now. So if anyone is to shout out a question, I'll be able to hear you in the overheads, or you guys can go ahead and send it through the chat. I will be honest, I'm not always the best at checking the chat all the time. So it may be easier to unmute yourself, but of course I understand if you don't have the ability to do that. So go ahead and send it in the chat if you need to. I'll keep an eye out for those questions and don't feel like you have to wait until the end. Feel free to ask those as we're rolling through everything, because of course I want to make sure that you get those questions answered in a timely manner so that things can start to fall into place for you. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. As I mentioned, again, we are just at kwbresources.com. And we'll go ahead and start here under this new agent tab. So when you first click into the new agent tab, guys, what you're going to see is on the left-hand side under getting started, you'll have the opportunity to click this learn more button. And this is actually going to take you just to a quick checklist, and it really just highlights the onboarding process quickly and briefly. So obviously, all of us are pretty much all the way through our onboarding process. Some of us may be in the midst of that. So this will kind of give you a reference guide as to what was asked in the beginning of the onboarding process, what else will follow as part of that. So what the next steps look like, who you'll be hearing from, and at what point in time. And then the very last piece is no matter where you are in onboarding, even especially those who are all the way through it, this is going to be applicable to you. The first thing that you guys can begin doing immediately is obviously getting comfortable using kwbresources.com. So we'll go ahead and do that together. And then also getting comfortable using and navigating our office training calendar, which will be part of this website. Lastly, or I guess lastly, I don't know why I said that because clearly there's a couple more bullet points to talk about. Ignite is going to be the next one on this particular checklist. That's another key training that we encourage you to participate in. Ignite is something that we offer in our office from 9 to noon for 4 consecutive weeks, which is amazing. We always joke that Ignite teaches you everything that real estate school did not, that you probably thought it would. So we do take time to really dive into what being a realtor on a day-to-day looks like. And you'll be learning from some of our top producing agents in this office. So it's a phenomenal opportunity for you guys. For those of you who may be dual career or have scheduling conflicts at that point in time, again, it's 9 to noon. Just shoot me an email because there is an opportunity to do Ignite after dark. And that's something run through MAPS coaching on a national level. And that is actually accessible to you guys on Tuesday evenings through Zoom. So rather than cramming 5 sessions into 1 week, you'd be doing one session at a time. I believe right now they're actually closer to the end of their sessions. They're rolling through, I want to say, session 14 or 15 right now. And so obviously, that may seem like something you guys are interested in, and that's awesome. Just shoot me that email. You may want to wait to jump in until they start back over, or you may want to jump in now. The great thing about Ignite is it does not need to be completed chronologically. You guys can take it in pieces as it falls into place for you. So Ignite's another really, really great foundational training we encourage you to participate in. The next thing you'll see on this checklist is joining some Facebook pages. I will talk to you guys about 2 key particular Facebook pages. then attending office meetings, this being one of them. So even though I can't actually like wave at you guys like in person, thank you for being here. And then the last thing here is registering your car with Torrington Preferred Parking. So as many of you know, we are going to be moving buildings. We're actually going to be making a big move this particular quarter one. It's pretty much the end of quarter one, so nobody panic. It's not happening right now. But if you guys are interested and you need to join in, hi, how are you? Good. And you guys need to register your vehicles. You guys can click on this link right here and it will take you over to the Torrington Preferred Parking link. So when you guys dive into this, it's a very simple process to register your vehicle. Don't necessarily worry about retrieving a pass just because, again, we won't be at this facility for a ton more time. But obviously, we do want to make sure that your vehicle is acknowledged by our security here so they know not to disrupt your vehicle at any point in time. So if you plan on being here on a regular basis, which we hope that you do, go ahead and register your vehicle. It's free for you, and you guys can register up to 3 different vehicles under that same link. So I'll close out of that. And so we are still, it's the home page and then it's just the new agent tab. So we have not gotten very far. So you didn't miss much, I promise. Oh gosh, you're absolutely fine. I just didn't want you to think you missed anything. And then so on the right-hand side, this is going to be taking you to Scott Leroy Marketing's website. So if you guys hit the learn more button under basic training, this will take you to their website. And as you guys know, Scott Leroy Marketing handled setting up all of your KW technology. So there's going to be a lot of great information that came from them already. And then there's plenty more that you guys can learn from them as well. Through our partnership with Scott Leroy Marketing, you guys do have access to their tech team for further assistance and troubleshooting with your KW technology. They're a highly responsive team, so you guys should have plenty of luck hearing back from them in a reasonable manner. In addition to that, though, obviously there's tons of great resources on their website as well. So when you guys are on their website, you'll see here the first page, and only because we land there, I'm going to go ahead and share with you because the search bar is right in my face. If you guys actually search QR in that, this will actually allow you to fill out a quick form to create a QR code. So for those of you who are considering creating QR codes for any marketing pieces or anything of that nature, but aren't quite sure how to do it, Scott Leroy Marketing can handle that for you, and they can do it for you for free. So it's very easy process. It just asks you a couple quick questions, and then they'll be able to get that QR code over to you. And then in addition to that, there's only a couple things I really share on this particular website. And the reason for that, do you need Wi-Fi? I was like, I could tell by your face. I was like, he needs Wi-Fi. Okay, so it's going to be capital KWBALMC is the network. And then the password when you're ready. Yeah, it's KWBALMC is the network. Yep. And then so the password is capital B, lowercase a, MC, 350 exclamation point. Sorry, it's usually written behind me, and for some reason it's not. So, I was like, hold on. I was like, I want to make sure you have that. So now that we are back, one of the other things that I'd like to share with you guys on this page, only because we take a little bit of time to dive into some key features on the page. There's plenty of time we could spend here, but we won't linger. Under this agent resources button, it used to be a drop-down menu. It's not anymore. If you click on this agent resources button, it will ask you to type in your market center number, and ours is 350. For those of you online, I'm sure many of you have seen this number several times by now, and you will see it several more times as part of your journey here at KW. So once you've typed in our market center number, you now have access, and this has become a drop-down menu. So underneath training here, if you guys were to select training calendar under this side menu, it will take you to Scott Leroy Marketing's live training calendar. So in addition to the tech trainings that we offer here on Tuesdays and now Thursdays, welcome to 2024, we're changing things up. If you guys do find that maybe Tuesdays and Thursdays just aren't a great fit for your schedule, or maybe you're realizing that certain topics are not being talked about in our office the particular week, maybe you're like really looking to talk about Facebook, and Jules and Leah, they just talked about it last week and you missed it and you really want to get that information, If Scott Leroy Marketing is offering it, again, through our partnership, guys, you have access to all of that information. So you are welcome to jump onto any of these live trainings that they offer because they do run theirs Monday through Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. All you have to do is click on the particular session. It will give you the topic over that they'll be discussing, and then you can click on the Zoom link right there to go ahead and join the meeting. And again, that's just an opportunity to supplement your tech training here because we understand not everyone's schedules look the same. And sometimes it's also true that you guys may be looking for some very timely information that may just be offered in one avenue versus another. So if it works for you in your business, guys, there's never anything wrong with pursuing this avenue. So please utilize this resource. It's available to you as often as you would like. The next thing I'm going to touch on is for those of us, again, who are very new as agents, under this store option here, if you were to click that option, I know one of the biggest questions I usually get is about business cards or name tags. So if you guys are looking to order anything like that, you guys can click on the agent store and it will take you straight to this particular site. The beauty of agent store is that they do partner obviously with Scott Leroy and with us as a result. So they have several different template options available out there, and you guys are able to just go ahead and plug in your information into a couple fields and then generate your business cards that easy. It's very simple and it's a very quick process. I know that some of us may be a little bit more creative naturally and want to do something very unique to you and your business, in which case I encourage you to do so. You're welcome to obviously explore other avenues. But if you guys are looking for just quick and easy, I want to get that business card ordered and I want to get it at a great price, this is an amazing opportunity for you guys. I know 500 business cards for myself personally only ran about $39. So it's very, very price efficient. And then the other thing I would say with this as well in regards to compliance more than anything is that there are specific advertising guidelines out there for you guys as agents that you are to be cognizant of when marketing yourselves and your business. Provisional broker status, especially, I know you guys are required to get approval from the broker in charge or from our BIC associate, who I will share information for in just a moment. If you need her approval, Tasha Viney is our BIC associate. She would be the one I'd recommend reaching out to confirm that your business card design is ready to go. Just would hate for anyone to print something and find out afterwards that they can't legally use it. I know brokers, you guys have a little bit more freedom, so you don't necessarily have to get that approval all the time. But it may be something that you want to still reference those advertising guidelines because they will give you some guidance in terms of what you can use on marketing pieces versus what you cannot. So feel free to reference those. Again, I don't want anyone going to real estate jail. So until you guys feel comfortable with what that looks like, I would encourage you to reference those guidelines, and those will be posted to our KWB resources site, which we'll talk about in just a few minutes. So I'm going to close out of Agent Store for now. And then again, that was just through Scott Leroy Marketing. Tons of other great information on there, but I will not make all of that about Scott Leroy today. As we scroll a little bit further down, guys, we're still under that new agent tab on our homepage. You'll see this is a quick list of Facebook pages. These two at the top here are going to be our most active Facebook pages. The first is going to be an internal Facebook group. It's a private group. It is just going to be the agents in our office and our leadership team. So this is a great way for you guys to get plugged in, to constantly have a feed of information of what's happening in Ballantyne. You'll have the opportunity to communicate with other agents, whether you have questions or maybe you're seeking out specific criteria for a home for a buyer and you're just not finding anything in MLS. It's a really great way for you guys to collaborate together, in addition to also staying on top of all of the wonderful events and trainings that we have coming into Ballantyne. So for all of that information, you guys can join this private Facebook group. It's a very, very easy step. I'll be able to see and approve your request later if you've not already joined, but that is probably the biggest one I would recommend being part of. Similar in concept, just below there is actually going to be a vendor Facebook page. So similarly, a private Facebook group with our agents and our leadership team. What makes it different is that this also has our wonderful vendor partners as part of the Facebook group as well. So if you guys are looking to get connected with wonderful and trustworthy vendors for your clients as you guys start to get business underway, I encourage you to be part of that Facebook group because it's very easy to get connected with our vendors that way. You'll be able to search for plumbers and see any plumbers populate right then and there. So it'll be a wonderful opportunity to get references to multiple sources and be able to provide multiple quotes for your clients so that they can then decide on who's best to do the job. So those are the two Facebook pages I would say are most active and most important to join. So go ahead and request to join those. And for those of you who are also part of our coaching program, there is a coaching Facebook group as well, a private coaching Facebook group. So if you guys have not plugged into that and you need that information, just shoot me a quick email in regards to that, and I can take care of sending you that link so you guys can be part of everything going on in PC as well. A little bit lower down, this is going to be a colorisms sheet, and this is a PDF breakdown essentially of the language that you hear at Keller Williams. We know that it's a little bit different than what you may hear outside of these walls. It's part of what makes our culture so amazing and strong. So if you guys are wondering, okay, I'm not really sure what a capper is, and I definitely don't want to out myself and ask Liz because that's embarrassing. The first thing I would say to that is it's never embarrassing. You guys are, of course, always welcome to come to me with questions, even if you feel like it's a silly question. But obviously, I'm maybe not available at 3 a.m. So if you guys do find yourselves wondering what maybe a 415 is, or anything similar to that, or 145, anything similar to that, you guys can reference that colorism sheet. It will break down every term that you hear in Keller Williams that's specific to our office, and you're just wondering, what does that actually mean? It will give you guidance on all of that and more. So use that if you guys are having any questions about what you're hearing. Little bit further down for those of us who are new to Command, KW Command is our CRM here at KW. It's built for Keller Williams by Keller Williams. So it's become this amazing platform. They do so much with it, and it's really just become so established and developed. We're so excited about where it's at. But of course, it is constantly changing. So for those of you who are newer to it and just trying to navigate even just the basics, trying to get those opportunities in, anything like that, I know that sometimes because you've never been exposed to this technology before, it can be a little daunting or maybe a little confusing at first. So for those of you who are looking for some additional support with the technology, look no further. There is also access here to answers.kw.com. So answers.kw.com is going to be an online resource for you guys that covers all different KW platforms, Command included. So you guys can actually use that website, specify the particular platform that you're having questions on or looking for assistance with, and then you guys can actually search keywords and pull up articles upon articles of information on how to navigate through Command and similar websites. And then the great thing about that as well is that each of those also come with screenshots attached as part of the article. So not only are you trying to read through it, but there's actually a visual as well. So it makes it very easy to then turn around and apply on your end. I obviously know that reading through solutions is maybe not everyone's learning style. So I will share a couple other opportunities as we move forward with this orientation. So we'll go over a little bit more of that as well. Similar to this site, for those of you interested, there is a sister website, ideas.kw.com, and that's purely for suggestions and feedback about Command. So if you guys have any questions about what you're seeing in Command, or sorry, not any questions, but if you guys are trying to say like, okay, I love this feature, I just wish it was accessible on this screen as well, anything like that, KW wants to make sure that Command is as user-friendly as possible and is working with you guys to help propel your businesses forward. It's not trying to be a roadblock, I promise. So if you guys have any feedback like that, constructive criticisms, anything of the sort, they would love to hear from you no matter what your background or expertise with real estate or Command itself. So feel free to provide any feedback in that at ideas.kw.com, and then maybe you'll even see that come out in one of the next updates that they roll out just based off of your suggestions. There is access here to download Ignite materials. However, you will see it also on our office training calendar, which you have access to just here. So we will talk about the office training calendar actually in just a minute or two. The reason that I usually bypass it in this particular spot is because there are several ways to pull to the same information on this website, and you'll realize that as we're rolling through today. So I try to like show you only the ways that I think are the easiest to get to the information, because I think if it sticks out in my brain, hopefully it will stick out in yours as well. And of course, if you realize it's not going to work for you that way, or there's another way to find the information that works for you, go ahead and do that. There's no wrong answers, but Just trying to show you the easiest way to remember since I know you'll get a lot of information coming at you. At the very bottom here, there's information on how to book a conference room. I'll tell you right now, the easiest way to go ahead and access the same information is the schedule conference room in the drop down menu under helpful links. So that's going to be right here. When you guys are looking to book a conference room, we do have 6 available on this floor. You're welcome to use at any point in time as a resource for you. Those 6 all vary in capacities and they're available. We try to encourage more for consultations, essentially. So if you guys are meeting with a coach, having conversations similar to that, if you're collaborating with another agent, or maybe you guys are meeting with a client, feel free to use any one of those conference rooms. It's, like I said, a free resource, and it's a very simple process to register. You'll actually use this top button here if you've never ever used the website before. You'll register first, create a quick login. I say use your KW information because it just keeps it easy. Use your KW information, create a quick login. Once you have done that, you should have access to be able to book conference rooms moving forward. And it will break down at the top of the sheet. You'll see the name of each individual conference room, the capacity it holds, and then down the left-hand side, you'll see all the times throughout the day. So you can easily drag and drop for a slot in that conference room, and also have an understanding of what's available and when. So it makes it very seamless. And then the only other thing I'd really mention with that is, of course, as I mentioned, it being a little bit more intended for collaboration or conversations similar to that. What I would say is if you guys are looking just for maybe an independent workspace, that's wonderful. Maybe the conference rooms are not the best for that. And the only reason I say that is because, of course, we do have 550 agents. So we do try our best to try and keep those on rotation for everybody. So if you could try to keep the independent work a little bit outside of the conference rooms, you're welcome to take a seat at any of the vacant cubicles in our office and sit there for a few hours if you want to just work independently and try to get things done. We also have access to computers in our tech lounge that you're welcome to sit there, in our hub as well if it's available. It's always a great space. And the training room is also available to you to utilize at any point as long as it's not being used for a training. So those are all resources available for independent work. But of course, our conference rooms are intended for the collaborative efforts. So you guys will be well stacked no matter which way you decide to go there. I am going to take us back to our homepage real quick. So you'll see we've arrived back at the homepage. Again, everyone, we were just under that new agent tab. I know it's hard to believe, but we were just under one button that whole time. I promise we'll roll through things a little bit quicker now that we've gotten through that portion. As you scroll through, you'll see these are all of our wonderful leadership team members, as well as the roles that they have in our market center, and in addition to their contact information. So as you guys are getting comfortable, if you realize you need to reach out to anyone about something, but maybe you've not talked to that person before, not quite sure who to reach out to, this directory will help give you some insight as to who to reach out to and how to do so. And a little bit lower down, as you saw just above, our wonderful tech coordinators, Jules and Leah, also have a video published here. I know it says can't miss video of the week, but ironically, this has been here for months. And the reason is not because we're bad at our jobs, I promise. It's actually because this video has been so highly raved over just because of the value it has. It is a 25-minute video that goes over both Command and DocuSign and how the two platforms communicate with each other. So again, as a foundational piece of your technology training, especially if it is brand new to you, I would highly encourage watching that video at your leisure. The great thing is it can be on your schedule, but just go over that because it'll give you a more thorough understanding of how everything's communicating, just so you have an understanding of how to utilize it a little bit better. Scrolling. So of course, it's not going to show events now that I'm here, but if you, I'm sorry. No, you're absolutely fine. No, you're fine. So if it's on the homepage, if you just scroll past the directory, it's just underneath there. Yep, of course. And so this next portion here, of course, it's not showing the events now, but that is our training calendar. I'm going to refresh and see if that changes anything for me. Because I promise there's events there, guys. All right, there we go. So once you do arrive at our office training calendar, before we really talk about that, the fastest way to get here, as everyone wants to know, is clicking the office calendar tab at the top here. It'll pull you right down. You don't have to waste so much energy scrolling. But once you've arrived at this page, you'll be able to see an overview of all the events going on at Valentine. I know that some things look like they're getting chopped off, so all you have to do is click on that event. And it will be able to tell you, okay, so today is the keys to success with me. You can see as well some additional information, registration links, and a flyer. So anything similar for upcoming events, you guys can do the same. Click on it, figure out what it is. If it's something that you think is going to help you or your business, we encourage you to participate. Feel free to sign up for anything of interest, guys. This is all your business is all about what you make of it. You are entrepreneurs, so the training is entirely up to you. We just provide all of it here at our facility. So the big thing with that is, like I said, it is what you make of it. Every resource that you need, I believe, is available to you at this office for success. It's just up to you on what you choose to do with all of that information and all of those opportunities. So inside here, you'll see as well, we do start Ignite next Monday. So we are super, super excited about that. Hopefully we will see many of your faces here for Ignite next week. And that will continue all the way through the early February. But again, just click on any of these particular events and you'll see information as well as registration links. So we do have some special events that we also bring in just a few times in the month, in addition to the recurring trainings that you'll start to recognize on this calendar. Below here, you'll also see a quick reference to some of those recurring trainings. So these are some of the recurring meetings that we do offer, including Tech Tuesdays, which are run every Tuesday by Jules and Leah. They cover different aspects of Command and DocuSign. So great trainings to be part of. Again, I think technology is usually what I hear is one of the bigger challenges. And not to say that it's impossible by any means, but again, you're just not exposed to it prior to being a KW agent. So that just comes with a little bit more of a learning curve sometimes. It is a user-friendly tool though, and Jules and Leah will show you all about it throughout their classes. And you guys can also book time to meet with them, which we'll discuss later as part of this training as well. And then lastly, you'll see we've got ALC meetings and team meetings. Team meetings I always talk about because those are the second and fourth Tuesday of every month, 11 to 12. They're really, really fun and high energy opportunities. This particular room, you guys cannot see it, but I know Daniel can. In this room, though, it usually is very full and it is about standing room only. So it's very exciting. We love those team meetings. We cover everything from what's going on in our market center, what's going on in the market, special guests, talking to vendors. We have vendor fairs. There's so much going on. There's lots of food usually as well. So it's never a bad time. But yes, team meetings are phenomenal, and they were ones that we definitely encourage you guys at least participate in once. They are available online as well if you need to stream them virtually. So feel free to click on those on the training calendar to find the Zoom link to attend. And ALC meetings are our Agent Leadership Council meetings. And those are actually once a month. And that's when all of our Agent Leadership Council gets together to make decisions on behalf of the Market Center and what it will look like moving forward. Because the goal is constantly to be improving so that you guys can have the best experience as agents and the best environment to thrive in. So we are here to help with that. And so is the Agent Leadership Council. If you guys scroll just a bit lower here, you'll also see this is our wonderful broker in charge, Miss Saber Romeo. She is truly phenomenal and very knowledgeable and very kind. So she really hits like all the boxes, I feel like. So if you guys do have any questions, of course, both her and Tasha are here to assist you guys. What I will tell you as just a forewarning is that Saber is not commonly in the office. And the reason for that is actually that she is at home. She stays with her mother and takes care of her mother, who is 100 years old this past year, which is amazing. So Sabra's not always in person in this office. Tasha Viney, however, as you can see, has posted office hours because she is here on a regular basis. So feel free, guys. You can always direct your questions to Tasha to start out. She is here to help you, whether that's through a text, a phone call, an email, or in-person conversation. And then if Tasha really feels that you need to bring that question to Sabra, she will refer you to her. And at that point, hopefully you will have had all the answers come your way. We also underneath here have a little bit of information when it comes to renewing your licenses, checking to make sure you're up to date on your CE. Again, if you're newly licensed, I know that might be a stressor point for you. You're not quite sure, like, do I have everything I need? When do I need it by? These charts will actually, if you click on any of them, open them up. It will give you some information regarding how you guys can check to see where you're at in the process and make sure you're up to date on everything before renewals. And down here, you will see also our wonderful Agent Leadership Council. So this particular Agent Leadership Council members, these are actually our 2023 members. Our 2024 members are meeting today for their ALC retreat, and they're officially deciding on their chairs. So once we know what committee they're serving, you will see the next time you probably look at this, it will all be updated with the new co-chairs and chairs for our committees. But you'll see each of these individuals have their chair or their committees represented on top here, in addition to their name and contact information. So each committee has a different focal point for areas in the market center, whether that's social events and fun parties, whether that's profit share and growth, talking about passive income. If that is also talking about career development, which is more the trainings and education offered here, anything of that nature, you guys will be able to see who is responsible for what and reach out to them at any point in time, whether you have questions, maybe you just want to have a conversation or hear a conversation. They're constantly looking for your feedback, guys. They want to make sure Valentine, of course, is the place to thrive in. So if you guys ever have anything to bring to them, they're always looking for suggestions. So bring anything to them. They're very, very wonderful people and happy to help out. Just a little bit lower, you will come across one of our, I guess it's actually, so apologies, guys. We have revamped a lot this year. So I was about to say something. I was like, well, that's not really true anymore. I was like, let me change how I said that. So this is going to be the one of two pillars of mentorship here at Keller Williams Ballantine. So for brand new agents, you guys are actually auto enrolled into our coaching program. And the reason for that is that we think that one of the best things that you guys can have is a business coach, somebody to help you guys in the very beginning to launch your career. And so what that means is that this particular person, you will be assigned to one of these individuals. Your business coach is going to help you on all things setting up your business. They'll be able to give you some guidance. They'll be able to talk strategies, goal setting, accountability, which I think is the biggest thing that they offer. All of these important factors to really make sure that you're launching your career successfully from the beginning. We don't want you guys to have any hesitation or any issues getting taken off from the ground up. So they're here to help you with all of that and more. So do reach out to your coaches. You guys will be getting assigned to them early into your time as part of Keller Williams Ballantine. So that's going to be a phenomenal individual here to help you with all things business. And just below there, we do have our wonderful T group partners. This is the second pillar of mentorship here at Keller Williams. This resource is available to you as well. And again, you'll be assigned to one of these individuals based off of your schedule. These individuals meet weekly, as do those coaches. And so your transaction partners, because that is what T group stands for, is transaction group. These individuals actually go over at length what the contracts and forms you'll be using for any given transaction you'll work with. So they're going to give you a full understanding of what each contract and form means. They're also going to be able to explain not only the importance and significance to you, but share it with you in a way that you are able to convey back to your clients. Because we know those first few transactions, of course, are not muscle memory, and sometimes it can feel like there's a lot you're responsible for. So we want to make sure that you guys are set up for success. They will take all of this information and chunk it down for you guys over a 12-week curriculum. So they will be able to give you all that information in a rate that actually is digestible, which I think is huge because we don't want to be overloaded either. And then, of course, as well, you guys are welcome to continue to constantly be part of their meetings. We encourage you to do this as long as you would like to feel comfortable at the highest level. And the reason for that is, of course, that we realize not maybe every question is going to be answered, or maybe you have a specific transaction you're working with. It's a little different from anything you've done before, and you want to make sure you're getting enough guidance on it. So your T group partners can help in a lot of ways with that. So feel free, please, I encourage you to plug into those T group meetings as often as possible. Again, they meet weekly, and they are here to help you guys as a resource. The other thing I always mention when discussing your transaction partner is that they are going to be kind of, I consider, like, if you look at like levels, really, I consider your T group partner to be your first level of someone to go to when you have a transaction-based question. So if it's transaction-based, first and foremost, you're not going to talk to your business coach. We're going straight to the transaction group partner. But you guys can go to the transaction group partner first. And if they don't know the answer, then they'll refer you to Tasha or Sabra for further assistance. Legal issues obviously go straight to your BIC. But if it's anything just more administrative or maybe just specific to this particular issue I'm seeing, or I just got a quick clarification question, I cannot talk today, then you guys can easily go to your T group partners first, and we encourage you to do that. little bit towards the bottom here, we just have access to some helpful resources and frequently used websites. Those are also all referenced up here at the top. So we're going to jump over to the FAQ tab. And like I said, guys, I promise we're going to roll through these next things faster than you think. This FAQ tab is really, again, in addition to our staff directory, it's here to help you guys in understanding who does what. So if you're wondering, who do I reach out to about I've got a question about my commission request. If you hover over this tile, don't even have to click on it. It will share that Lynn Davis is responsible for those particular things, gives you her contact information as well. So if you guys need to reach out to anyone about commission requests, now you have an idea of who to talk to. Similar to all of these other tiles, again, it just gives you a vague idea of what all of us are kind of responsible for on leadership. But of course, if you're realizing that my question is not included here and I really want to know who I should reach out to, come to me first, guys. You can always shoot me an email or give me a call. I'm happy to then direct you to who I think can best answer that question. This next tab that we're going to talk about today is this on-demand training tab. So this is going to be a password protected tab. So I will have those of you online take note of this somewhere if you can. And then obviously, Daniel, you're going to think that this password is going to be the easiest thing in the world because I just gave you the Wi-Fi password. So when you guys click on that, this password is going to be very, very similar to the KW Wi-Fi password. It's going to be a capital B, lowercase a, MC, 350. And that's all there is. So the only difference is there's no exclamation point this time. But it's that simple, guys. I will repeat that password as well on the next tab here. So if you missed it, don't worry, it will come back up. Once you guys are in the on-demand training tab, if you were to click on this left-hand on-demand training button, if you click on that, it will actually take you to our KW Ballantyne YouTube channel. So what I think is phenomenal about this is it does cover a lot of our recurring trainings and meetings, as I mentioned earlier. So you guys can go in and reference anything you may have missed at any point in time, especially those of you who are dual career or have kind of trickier schedules to navigate around. Sometimes those morning classes or trainings, or maybe those afternoon classes or trainings just aren't a great fit for you time-wise. So if you miss anything but you'd like to see what you missed, you can easily go through and check on any one of these videos to get additional information and almost basically participate in the training in full. The only difference is because it is not live, of course, you're not able to ask questions in real time. And that's actually why tangentially, we only put on those recurring meetings here. We're not putting every single training on here. The big thing for that reason is that we think that it's invaluable really to be part of a training live, whether that's on Zoom or that's in person. And the reason is that you get to ask your questions in real time. You get to obviously get a little bit more of an understanding, especially if you're having confusion on any of the topics being shared. So these again are going to be our recurring trainings only. And of course, you will also come to understand that if the opportunity is not available through Zoom to begin with, there will not be a recording published because that is where the recordings come from. The biggest other point that I mentioned when I come across this page with you guys is that you will notice that some videos may not be published even within these playlists. So if you realize, hey, Jules and Leah just did something on Facebook last week, Facebook ads, and I really want to know what they talked about. I'm looking to publish something for my new listing, and I just want to make sure that I'm doing all the right things. But oh no, I don't see it here on this YouTube channel. What do I do now? Always email me when you realize that something specific you're looking for is not shared on this YouTube channel, guys. And the reason for that is sometimes YouTube, the algorithms as part of it will think that a video I'm trying to publish violates a policy of theirs for some reason. Thanks AI. I love it. So when that happens, it just means that recording cannot get posted to YouTube. It doesn't mean that I may not have the recording myself. So in that event, again, specific things you're looking for and not seeing here, send me an email. I may very well have access to the recording still and can share that with you so you can still appreciate it even though it was not posted to the YouTube channel. So I will close out of this one. And very, very similar on the right-hand side here, as I mentioned well before with Scott Leroy Marketing. This is going to take you guys to Scott Leroy Marketing's YouTube channel if you click on that on-demand training button. So once you have entered on Scott Leroy Marketing's YouTube channel, the reason I said this was mentioned before was we're talking about answers.kw.com, which is more of a visual and more I do well reading through my answers. But if you really I like the engagement of hearing voices. I'm an auditory learner, and I also want to make sure I understand what's being done. You guys want to do kind of what you're doing right now online and follow along with me truly through screen share. These are going to be all published videos by Scott Leroy Marketing covering your technology. Again, all walks of life when it comes to your technology. They're covering from A to Z. They're going to be, you'll see some video tips that are just a couple minutes long. They usually don't exceed more than 10 to 15 minutes when it's just a tip, but you'll also notice that they have full-length classes and trainings published here as well. So again, if your schedule can be a little crazy, maybe you're located further away, any of those reasons where you think that this would benefit you in your business to have access to on-demand training for technology, this is where you guys can absolutely find it, and we would love to see you utilize it as often as you'd like. So again, you guys can find all of that just through the on-demand training button, and it's on that right-hand side for Command on Demand. And lastly, there's just a little bit more information about Ignite. If any of you would like a little bit more information about it, here's some here, but of course, email me. I'm happy to send it to you. But without any more delay, we're going to hop over to the next tab actually. But before I click on it, I am just going to hover my mouse here. And the reason for that is you'll see, as we were talking about earlier, guys, those advertising guidelines are posted right here. So if you need a reference to make sure that your marketing piece, your business card, any of the above, they're in compliance, make sure that you're using this advertising guideline button. The next thing underneath here, similar to the advertising guidelines in importance, is the do not call list. I think most of us are familiar with what that is, but maybe we're not signed up to access it yet. So if you click on this do not call list button, this will give you step-by-step instructions on how you can get access to the do not call list registrants so you know who not to call so that you don't ever have to face a nasty fine. So I think that's an important one to definitely take time, hopefully over the weekend, guys. If not, maybe early next week or the week after that. Make sure it's something you do prioritize, though. You will want to make sure you know who's on that list. If you click on the Office Resources tab, of course, getting into it, as I mentioned, this is also password protected. So again, that password is capital B, lowercase a, M, C, 350. And on the Office Resources tab, we'll touch on a couple things here as well. On the left-hand side, because I believe most everybody on this call, and I'm just going to check real quick. Yeah, I was going to say, I believe everyone on this call is North Carolina licensed at the very least. So on the left-hand side here under General Forms, if you click the Get Forms button, this is going to take you to a Google Drive folder that Miss Sabra built up herself. And this holds basically all of our KWB specific forms. And I say that because, again, this is not everything. You're not going to find all contracts and state forms on here. But this is going to go over plenty of great information that you may be looking for and realizing it's not showing up in DocuSign for you when it comes to maybe the inter-office referral agreement, septic and sewer, which is something we require, a W-9 for our office, firm exclusive agreements, anything that discloses our partnerships, things of that nature, guys. Anything that you find is specific to our firm, you'll find all of that in this particular Google Drive folder. So you see here, we even have working with real estate brochure. So if you guys are looking to get a brochure for working with real estate agents, that's a great one to utilize. But I'm going to close out of this in just a moment here. But again, all KWB specific forms, what I typically say, those state forms and those state contracts, you guys will find in your DocuSign. You may need to make sure that your NERDS number is inputted correctly in order to get access to that. I personally can't give you step-by-steps on how to do that, but I know Jules and Leah can. I know Lynn can. I know Scott Leroy can assist with that as well. So if you guys find yourselves in that position, any of those individuals would be great to reach out to for assistance. But especially if you realize those forms aren't populating, reach out to some of them. Jules and Leah and Scott Leroy can help you with it. But what I will say is that, like I said, those are all going to be available through DocuSign. Some of you may even find them through Matrix or Zip forms instead, whatever your preference may be. But you'll notice that these forms are not going to be in there. So all KWB specific forms are going to be in the Office Resources tab at KWB Resources. And then similar, you guys will see state forms aren't here. So those state forms can then be found in your DocuSign. So if you can't find it in one of those locations, check the other. That's usually how I try to phrase it. And the only reason I emphasize that so um, aggressively, I guess, is because I always find that that's usually one that gives a lot of confusion because that's something that you guys probably won't think about until that first transaction. And then I hope it's still in your brain, but if it's not, I totally understand. You guys get so much information. So in the middle here under Office Checklist, similar in concept, if you click the Get Checklist button, guys, this is going to take you to another Google Drive folder Miss Sabra created, but these are all going to be checklists on how to walk through a given transaction. So whether you're in North Carolina or South Carolina, you'll see no matter what state or what side of the transaction, Sabra's provided a checklist that goes over everything you will be responsible for in that transaction so that you can make sure you're staying on top of your responsibilities as an agent so that you're best servicing your clients. And that, again, that's just going to be in that Get Checklist button in the middle of our Office Resources tab. So again, this is going to be great. I really think one, again, just to emphasize, there is no requirement to utilize this resource. However, for those of us who think it would, again, benefit you in any way or give you that added boost of confidence, please use these resources. They are here to help you guys. I know those first transactions are not muscle memory, so it is difficult sometimes to make sure that we've kept all our ducks in a row throughout the beginning to the end of the transaction. So use these checklists, guys. They're here to assist you so that you know you've covered everything you're responsible for. I am going to close out of that. But again, so our North Carolina forms specific to Keller Williams Ballantine are on the left side here. Our office checklists are in the middle. And then if you guys are South Carolina licensed or go on to become South Carolina licensed, you can find the equivalent of our North forms for the South Carolina side on this right-hand button. And then in the middle of our screen here, you'll see the CE shop. This is one of two facilities that we partner with for real estate education. If you guys click on the CE shop, I'm going to talk about like two quick things on their website before we continue on KWB resources. So the CE shop is a wonderful resource for you guys for whether that's pre-licensing, post-licensing, continuing education, no matter what that looks like for you. We encourage you to use them as a resource. This, I will say, is self-paced learning, so that does need to match your learning style, of course. It is not for everybody, and I understand that. So if self-paced is something that you've dabbled with before or have interest in checking out, I encourage you to check out the CE shop. For those of you who are considering trying it for the first time, I know it can be scary because you've probably heard some horror stories of people saying, oh my God, I did self-paced for real estate school and I hated it. It was miserable. I did terrible. And you know what? Like I said, it's not for everyone. So if you're kind of, maybe it would be a fit for me, but I don't know if I'm ready to commit to that, you guys actually have a really unique opportunity through the CE shop to do a free trial of self-paced learning. So if you are trying to go get South Carolina licensed, I would encourage you to try the free trial with CE shop because it gives you a week of self-paced learning to see if it's a good fit for you and your learning style prior to committing. So if you absolutely loved it, it was a huge success, you can easily plug in right then and there at the end of that week and get signed up for the remainder of the program. However, if you hated it, it was not a fit for you, you can walk away without having to worry about any consequences. So go ahead. As I drop the microphone, go ahead and give that a try. That's going to be something very important if you guys are trying to check out self-paced learning. And then further down, again, through our partnership, we also have access to amazing discounts. CE Shop is known to fluctuate, so it will not be a steady rate every time. You will want to check in to make sure you see what those codes are and what those discounts can do for your price points. The big thing I would mention is that I do receive emails from Barbara Wilkinson, who works for the CE Shop. So anytime that she's announcing that there's a promotion that's coming up, I am actually getting those emails ahead of time, and I have them posted to our Facebook page every single morning at 8 a.m. the day that they go live. So if you guys are looking to be on top of those discount codes, check our Facebook page, stay aware. I know she usually does them on Wednesdays, so keep aware on Wednesday mornings. You guys can easily check in and see if there's any applying. But I know for the month of January, they are offering 30% off. And then at the very bottom, this is where like it looks terrible because it used to be at the top and it wasn't as confusing, but now I'm going to make you guys go all the way to the bottom with me. So under Agent Essentials, Hot Topics is actually the next thing I'm going to click on. And that is just a quick library that CE Shop holds, and does this error message every time I go there for the first time. But if I refresh, it's all good. But this library is ebooks, podcasts, blogs, and videos, guys, and it is all about real estate. So whether it's an informative piece or a lighthearted piece, there is tons of content on here that you guys may be able to glean a little bit of information off of for you and your careers. But what I love to talk about when we reference the hot topics here is it's also a cheat sheet in a way for you guys, a shortcut, if you will, for any social media marketing that you're doing. I know for social media marketing, again, not an agent, but I have listened to some people talk about it. When it comes to social media marketing, I know some of the most important things is making sure that your profile is active, you're posting frequently, and that you're also diversifying what you're posting. Don't let it be all the same monotonous information, or people may not really pay attention to it. You want to catch their attention anytime you can. And the more you're diversifying that content, the more you're directing new traffic to your page. So utilize this, guys. Not only, like I said, can you benefit from it, but you guys can also, if you're struggling one day and you're like, I don't know what I want to post, but I haven't posted in a while and I need to make sure something goes up today, you guys can literally just copy and paste the link to any of this information. And it's a free post essentially for you guys to have out on social media that you never know who may find interest in, and then reach out to you guys about purchasing a home. So use the hot topic section. And then we do have access to our floor plan here if you need it. Typically, I don't really think that many people find themselves needing the floor plan, but it is there if you do. I understand our building is a weird shape, so I really wouldn't blame anybody for wanting to reference that. I probably would have benefited from it for my first week working here, but it is there if you guys would like to reference it. I'm also happy to provide directions when you guys are here in the office. And then at the bottom, these are numbers to know. So if you are saying, hey, Liz, I did want to go get my South Carolina license, I've got the application, I passed, I just need to fill this out so I can get that license officially. You'll notice it's going to ask you for that firm license number for South Carolina. You probably don't know what that number is, but you will find it here under numbers to know. So these are going to be some of those numbers that will come up a little more infrequently than like our market center number may, but you will find that you will need them for some of your transactions or for some of those important documents. Federal tax ID as well, guys, for those referrals, anything like that, you will want that information, and it is at the bottom of our office resources page. So as I mentioned, I'm just going to click to give you a quick look, it pulls all the way down for you. Yay. So that is how you guys can navigate straight to the office training calendar very easily. And then what we'll do next is we'll talk about these tech resources. I'm only going to hit on a couple today because I don't want to take up too much more time from you guys. So the first thing I always mention is Marty Miller for Teams. Again, if you're a fan of taking things and chunking them down into more digestible amounts rather than doing one giant evening full of information, Marty Miller for Teams is a YouTube channel or YouTube video series, I guess I should say. And it actually explains how you guys can build up your KW marketing profile. So it breaks it into 66 days. So it's no longer than 10 minutes a day that you're watching this video. It gives you like a shared screen the whole time, so you can easily replicate on your end. So you should be spending no more than 30 minutes a day trying to work pieces of this out. And by the end of the 66 days, you'll have a completed marketing profile. And I know, again, your digital presence is important, guys. So that is something to consider. Of course, you don't have to, especially if you're not really too intimidated by technology. You guys may just want to knock it all out in a week's time. So feel free to look over Marty Miller for Teams, though, if you're having any questions or you want some guidance or you want to slow it down. They're here to help. And then we also have another access point here to answers.kw.com. Pivot Shift Ahead, for those of you who do not know, is a wonderful group that's organized by a gentleman named James Shaw. James Shaw is based out of Florida and a very phenomenal and knowledgeable individual. He's actually pretty high up in the education world at KW at this point in time. So very great guy to know. But he runs a really successful group called Pivot Shift Ahead, and it's through Facebook. And what its whole premise is all about shifting markets, which, as you guys may have heard, the market's been doing some interesting things the past year, and it's predicted to do some more interesting things moving forward. So as markets shift, sometimes your tactics need to look a little bit different. You guys kind of have to adapt and roll with the punches in order to be successful constantly throughout that shifting market. So James Shaw has actually navigated shifting markets before. He was an agent during 09 and 08. So he has a lot of great strategies of how you guys can be ahead of the shifting market, if you will. So if you guys jump into the pivot shift ahead, ahead by clicking on that. It will take you straight to his private Facebook group. If he sees you're a member of Keller Williams, he'll let you right in. And they actually go live and do 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. calls every morning, just talking about different strategies to employ in your business. And sometimes he's even highlighting other agents and their success stories. And the really great thing about this, guys, I feel like it sounds so terrible to say rip off and duplicate, but it really actually is a great thing to do in real estate, because sometimes you don't want to reinvent the wheel. That's a lot of effort. I'd rather just know that something's already working for someone and see what that can do for me. Or I'd rather, and then maybe make some minor tweaks or maybe just keep it as it is as long as they're okay with that. You guys are welcome to gain inspiration from others. So the Pivot Shift Ahead call is going to be another opportunity for you to get that inspiration from others, find out what they're doing, and then implement in your own businesses. So under helpful links, we'll talk again only about a few items here. So you'll see we do have ALC meeting minutes. So if you guys miss one of those overarching ALC meetings and you want to know what they talked about, because sometimes they talk about like caps and things like that, important conversations being had about changes that may or may not take place. If you would like to know what you may have missed, ALC meeting minutes are posted to a Google Drive folder if you just click on that link. Just below there, more of a talking point than anything, is our prayer request form. And the reason I say a talking point for that is really just you guys don't have to worry about the form, but just keep us aware of everything that's going on in your world. We want to be the most supportive family that we can be because we take that family word very seriously. Our culture is very true to that. And we as a whole care about you as leadership as well. So if there's ever anything going on in your world that you think is something important to share with us, we want to know. So if nothing else, let us pray for you so that we can hope that things improve in your world. If you're big into the power of prayer and you believe the bigger the better, you can even tell us, hey, if you guys wouldn't mind, would you share that actually on my behalf to the whole market center? Because we will. We'll make sure that everyone knows so that you guys can have as much prayer power as possible going towards you. But really, that is intended to help you guys. Just so, again, if anything's going on, just let us know because we're here to support you in any facet, however we can. Even if it's just saying a prayer for you, let us know. You are our family, and we mean that from the bottom of our hearts. Just below there, you will see is KW Perks. KW Perks is actually going to be an opportunity for you guys to shop for insurance. I know independent contracting, that means insurance looks a little different. It's no longer through your employers, and I'm sorry. But Keller Williams this past year actually partnered with Capstone Financial. So you guys can now shop the insurance marketplace and just see what else is out there. And on average, because of our partnership with Capstone Financial, agents are saving more than 10%. I do hate that I never know the actual figure by the time that I jump into this class, but I know it's more than 10%. I just don't want to overstate it. So whether you guys currently have insurance but are curious if there's something else better suited for you out there, better price point maybe, or if you guys are now newly looking for insurance, KW Perks is an opportunity. You guys do not have to use it, but it is there to help support you guys in that endeavor. Just below, we do have access to our discount codes for real estate education. So as I mentioned, we partner with the CE Shop, but we also partner with Superior. So if you guys do prefer that in-person or virtual learning, but live trainings, you guys may want to check out Superior's discount codes. If you click the discount codes for real estate education button, this I will show you. It will take you to a separate screen on our website. This link here will take you right back to the CE Shop website we've already looked at. But each of these 3 separate links for Superior all refer to different discounts that they offer. So this is going to be your pre-licensing, your post-licensing, and your continuing education. So just make sure you're paying attention based off of which you need to connect with because they are technically separate links. But this will allow you guys to access Superior. CE Shop, as I mentioned, fluctuates their discount codes, but Superior, we have a long-standing 30% off with them. So that's an opportunity for you guys to jump on, not only in your own businesses, but you guys, there's nothing preventing you from being able to share these links with others as well. So if you guys are building a team eventually and you want to encourage somebody to join your team, you can share those links with a team member. You guys can share them just with a sibling, with a friend, a cousin that may be getting into real estate school for the first time and you want to help them out. Send them that pre-licensing discount code at either facility and they can use that, guys. They don't necessarily have to be immediately in line to join KW Valentine. They can also just be benefiting from it in general. So it's up to you guys if you feel like you'd like to share, but it's a great tool for you guys to establish relationships and build connections with others. And so, as I mentioned, there's a way to schedule a conference room right here. Just below there, another one I will actually click on for you today is strategic vendor partners. If you click on strategic vendor partners, guys, maybe you forgot to join that vendor Facebook page, and that is totally okay. It happens to the best of us, and sometimes we realize we need that information right then and there. So this is actually going to give you a spreadsheet of all of our vendor partners here at Keller Williams Ballantine. So our vendor program is very amazing. I would love to tell you all about it. Our vendor program, though, the biggest thing that I would mention here is it's actually all of these vendors have been vetted by KWB agents. So it's not just people that we've heard of on the streets. It's people that have actually worked with our very own agents, that our agents have come back and said, we love them. They're amazing. They're phenomenal. Their product's great. Their service is great. Get connected with them. So if you guys, maybe I don't know a ton of transaction coordinators, but I'm looking to expand and I want to utilize a transaction coordinator moving forward. By clicking over here, you guys can then see here's all the transaction coordinators and closing services that we partner with in our vendor program. So you guys can easily reach out to each of them, find out their price points, and go from there. And similarly, you guys can then offer the same for your clients when it comes to crawl spaces, when it comes to home inspectors, things like that. This is a great way for you guys to get numerous contacts all at once and find the one that you think will best suit you or your clients. And then you'll also notice, for example, landscaping. We only have one gentleman currently listed under landscaping. So this is not to say that obviously we just don't like landscapers. This is actually that we're constantly looking to continue building our vendor program. So if you guys know a great landscaper that maybe has been helping you for years, maybe your buddy is a landscaper that does great work, just let us know. We want to constantly make sure that we have the best people in our vendor program. And then we have tons of options for you guys when it comes to utilizing these individuals. So we want to make sure that we have plenty built up in this vendor program. So if you love your landscaper, let us know. It's as simple as connecting them with PJ via email. And PJ Kennedy is our current kind of overseer of the vendor program. He is now partnering with Angela Bueno to connect again with PJ. He does have business cards up at the front desk, so it's very easy through email. CC the vendor that you're trying to connect him with and let him know, and PJ will take care of all of the rest for you. He'll go over the details of our vendor program, and then they can decide from there if they think that's something that would benefit their business, which usually it does because it is a mutually beneficial program. So please, guys, let us know if there's someone amazing that you want to see be part of our program because it helps them out a lot too. All right. And then back to helpful links. We're just going to talk quickly. If you are podcast listeners, Think Like a CEO podcast is Gary Keller and Jay Papazan. Lots of great information being shared there just to kind of surround the entrepreneurial mindset and setting up your business for success. They even do a whole season just on making sure your finances are set up correctly. Keller Inc. is an opportunity to order specific Keller Williams print materials. Outfront Magazine, they do monthly publishments online that you guys can reference. Again, if you guys are really big into your social media presences to market your business, Outfront Magazine is another cheat sheet for you guys. So if you were wondering, oh my gosh, Liz, it's a rainy Tuesday. What the heck do I post today? I don't know. Outfront Magazine actually outlines the entire month in advance and they give you a post a day. So you don't have to use it every single day, but if there's ever a day you are struggling to come up with content, you guys can easily reference the Outfront Magazine's suggestions and then utilize it. And it's kind of just alleviates all the brain power on your end. All right, and I'm going to show two more quick things on this page. And then, like I said, I'm only going to go over a couple minutes because I want to show you how to do an email blast if you don't know it. So quickly, this Facebook button, if you click on it, it's going to take you straight to that private Facebook group of just our leadership and just our agents. So this is an easy way to plug in with that Facebook if you've not already done so. And then this last thing I'm going to share is probably my favorite thing to talk about, which is I need tech help. So if you guys need tech assistance, whether that's I just want some guidance on basic stuff, or I'm looking officially to start leveraging elements of my business because I want that concierge marketing service. I want a social media presence, but Liz, I don't want to do it anymore. It's a lot. I get it. That happens to us as we grow. There are some things we love, some things we hate when it comes to marketing. So Jules and Leah are in-house tech coordinators. educators. Not only can they help teach you guys how to do things from a basic level to a high level with leveraging through command, they also offer concierge marketing services. So as you guys grow, if you really are like, yep, nope, I'm just done, I don't want to do that part anymore, Jules and Leah can take over and help you guys out. So if you are looking to connect with them, it's very, very simple. You guys can actually book 30-minute appointments with them just by using this calendar. So you can click on any of these blue circles and you'll be able to see their availability. You can click right on it based off of your schedule, hit next. You can specify your name, email address, then specify if it would be easier to meet in person in our office or maybe through Zoom. And then you guys can also specify what this meeting's about so that they can prepare ahead of time for it. And then that way they can all present all the great information they have to share with you without having to waste any time. So please use this resource, guys. It is here to help you, and they do really want to get to know you. Jules and Lee are phenomenal, and they know their stuff, and they want to make sure that you know your stuff as well. So utilize them. They're here to help, and it's as simple as a 30-minute appointment for free. So I'm going to close out here. And this just returns us right back to our KWB resources page. But as I mentioned, I'm going to take 2 or 3 more minutes of your time just to show you how to do an email blast very briefly, because it's another great piece of information for you. But before we do that, I know I talk really fast, that's for sure. So if anyone has questions about what they've heard or maybe thought they heard because she talks so fast so far when it comes to this website, are there any questions online, in person, that I can take for you guys before we jump to a different site? I feel like that's a pretty good sign. Okay. I'm going to assume that means that we're okay. If I am mistaken, feel free to just shout out over the overheads here so I know otherwise. Or, of course, the other point here, you very well may have just gotten so much information, you don't even know what a question would be at this point in time, and that happens too. So what I would suggest is go back through this website at your leisure over the next several days, guys. See if you can walk yourself back through everything we've done today. And of course, if you're realizing you've forgotten how to do something or how to access particular information, just shoot me an email and I can help walk you through it again because I'm happy to do that. But for office email blasts, that is going to be done through mykw.kw.com. So mykw.kw.com. And I'm going to take us back to that website because it will actually time out on me and then I waste more time. So when we are here now, it will ask you immediately for your login credentials. So for those of you who do not know, your login credentials for this website are the same as what you use to log into KW Command. So I'm going to go ahead and type in mine. And your KW Command credentials, guys, are what we would have created together when we met to finalize your paperwork. And once we are in here, you'll see this is what it looks like once you've logged into this platform. What I will share with you guys, there's the first thing is White Pages is here for you guys. The bottom, White Pages is an internal search engine for Keller Williams agents and leadership. So if you guys are ever trying to figure out another KW agent's information, it's as simple as just typing in their names, and a lot of times that will populate for you so that you can get access to their information and connect with them. It's also a really cool tool because you guys can search just like areas rather than specific names, because maybe you are just looking for a referral partner out in Colorado. I don't know. So if you guys are looking for Daniel, by the way, is a great referral partner for Colorado. So if you guys are looking for somebody to refer something to, you guys can search areas as well, and then get a generated list of KW agents out that way. But what we're going to talk about today is the intranet option right here. So at the bottom under quick links, if you guys click on Market Center 350 intranet, you guys will be able to see we have a quick library that will show up here of other posts. You'll see several of them are mine. You'll also see several that are other agents talking about maybe, oh, look, listings, things like that, open houses, anything of the sort. So if you guys are looking to create an email blast, essentially the content you blast out will also live in this library. So what you're seeing all also has already come out as an email blast. So for you to create your own, you can hit this add a post button. And then this will be grayed out for you guys because I'm leadership, so that's why that's available. But associate post is what I'll have you guys select. And then it'll even let you designate a channel. It doesn't really impact its visibility to anyone unless they're filtering by a specific channel. It just helps you to classify your content a little bit better. Agent announcement is going to be the most generalized. So if nothing really applies down here, click agent announcement. You have up to 100 characters to create a post title. This is going to come through as the subject line of your email. You also can include a link as well if you want to link anything or provide additional information through a link. And you can also upload PDF or JPEG files here. It will allow you only to upload one file to my knowledge. So if you have several documents you're trying to include, I recommend combining them as a PDF and then uploading the combined PDF. And then just below, you have 190 characters here, guys, to create a post blurb. This post blurb is what's going to come through as the body of your email. So I know 190 characters is not a ton, and sometimes that's not enough to share what we're trying to convey. So if you click this add full message button just below, it will allow you to type freely as much additional content as you'd like. The biggest thing though is this is not immediately visible in the email blast as it comes across. If you were to blast it out today, as I would see it, I wouldn't necessarily see that right away. So there is a blue button though that you'll see that says view full post. If people click on that view full post button, that's where they'll be able to see all this additional information. So what I always encourage you guys to do is if you need to use additional space, make sure that in your post blurb, make like the last sentence of your post blurb, just say see full post. And then people know, okay, there's additional information. If I need more information, I can click on that blue button below. Otherwise, there's a chance maybe it may get missed. So I just try to cover all bases here. But so again, this is your subject line. This is the body of your email, and this is supplemental information you may provide as well if you couldn't condense everything into what's above. And then the last thing you guys have to do is hit this wonderful publish post button. It's that simple. That button will then log this information in that first library we looked at, and it will take a couple minutes, but it will email blast to every agent in this market center, so over 500 people, in addition to all of the leadership team members. So this is a phenomenal way for you guys to communicate with a ton of people with minimal energy and effort on your end, which I think is the best way to do it. So if you guys maybe you haven't joined the Facebook page, or maybe you really just want to make sure that this information gets in front of people and stays in front of people, this is going to be your best bet. So use this up anytime that you guys need to communicate at like a large level. I would recommend email blasting. You'll also see that I will email blast pretty much daily information about what's going on in the office, so you guys can be aware and easily register for any of those events. So that is all I wanted to share about that last little bit here on KW or mykw.com. So does anyone have any questions about this email blast section? Good. I feel like that's a good sign too. So again, if you guys have any questions moving forward, I know sometimes it's difficult to retain all of the information you get in some of these settings. So just email me or give me a quick phone call, guys. I'm happy to re-walk you through this information, but this will cover everything that we have to share today. And this is kind of your KWB keys to success. I hope that you guys got something out of this, or at least now you know where to look for specific information when you need to moving forward. That's really what I aim for with this class. So I appreciate all of you being part of this with me today. I wish you a wonderful weekend, a happy new year, and let me know if there's anything else I can do for you. But I'm going to let you get back to your lives, guys. Go ahead and you are dismissed. Enjoy your weekends. You're welcome.